Google has released Genie 3, an AI that generates interactive worlds. Time for me to pack my bags as a game designer. Salam, my name is Mustafa. I am a game designer. I've released one game on Steam. I'm currently working on another, and I have worked within the AAA game industry. Google has released Genie 3, and the reason why this is a big deal is because it's a huge upgrade to what we've seen before with what AI can do with generating a game. Previously, from what we've seen, is just very messy. For example, there was this video of Minecraft made with AI and had no persistency with the world at all. Basically, anytime the player would turn left or right, it would generate something that looks like it would fit into the left or the right sides of the screen. It had no memory of what the world looked like behind the player. So if the player turns around completely, then the world's completely different. And we also see an AI generated Doom that basically followed the map of Doom. So the map was persistent, but the enemies would just pop out of nowhere. They would just literally materialize in front of the player. And on top of all that, it just looked very dreamlike. It looked very murky and didn't look graphically impressive at all. Genie 3 is a big deal for 3 reasons. The first and most apparent reason is that it doesn't look terrible like the other things we've seen before. It's not the most impressive graphics, but it looks fine. But what makes it an even bigger deal is that the world has persistent memory. You can interact with the world. For example, they show a demo of painting on the wall. They turn and then turn back and the paint is still there. So this is a big deal because this is the next step towards being able to make levels for a game. And the final point that makes this a big deal is that the world can be altered at any time. You can type in a prompt and then the world gets altered in real time. The examples that they show in the demonstration is adding in other characters in real time. There are some limitations to Genie 3 though. For example, the interaction horizon, which is how long the simulation takes place, is only multiple minutes. I'm not exactly sure how many minutes that is. It could be 2 or 3 minutes. It can be tens of minutes, but they said it's definitely not hours. And I'm sure a huge part of the limitation for this is due to the memory trying to remember what the persistent world looks like. An AI that's constantly generating video and building on that world, it takes a lot of memory to remember what's going on. Another limitation is that this is completely random. You cannot reproduce the same level. Even if we get past the limitation of the interaction horizon being more than just some minutes, we still have the issue that the world is just completely random. We can't have consistent quality of the world and storytelling. A completely random world can work for certain games such as a roguelike, but if you want to have a consistent experience, right now that is a limitation of AI generated video. Even though Genie 3 allows for interaction with the world in real time through prompts, there are few direct player interactions which are verbs only. There are lots more issues, but it is very clear that Genie 3 is mainly a tech demo. It's a tool or a toy. It's not going to replace game designers anytime soon. When I was at Treyarch doing administrative work, I talked to a lot of the level designers to learn from them so I can get into game design. The lead level designer recommended me this book, 101 Things I Learned in Architecture School. It's a great resource to learn about architecture in which you can apply those rules towards building a map or a level. Not all of it applies towards level design. Some rules in architecture are for functionality, and in level design, you might not want functionality. Instead, you want to set up a level that encourages discovery. I bring this up because you can feed this book to AI, and AI can follow the rules that are in this book, but it won't know when to break which rules. AI doesn't understand creativity. It can look at what is good and then generate something that's the average of that. But it doesn't know how to break the rules. It doesn't know how to get to the extremes. It doesn't know how to make something truly creative. And that's how we come up with creative things, by exploring the extremes and breaking the right rules at the right times. So even if Genie 4 or Genie 5 come out and allows for hours of interaction, it's not going to come up with a creative world that people are going to be interested in exploring. Right now, as far as game developers, I see this as a tool for mood boarding. When it comes to game development, the first step in developing a game is a rapid prototype. And the majority of these prototypes lack graphics. They would have very simple graphics or placeholder graphics. The prototype is only meant to represent the gameplay loop. And basically, the concept artists will have to come up with concept art to show what the visuals are going to represent. And since the prototype lacks any visual representation of what the end product is going to be, then the concept artists have to come up with art to fill in that blank. I see Genie 3, Genie 4, Genie 5 as a tool that concept artists are going to use. They can not only use it for mood boarding, but they can also try to generate something that will somewhat represent what the end product will look like. They can use that video to present to the team so that they can be on board with what the direction of the game's visuals are going to look like. So the concept artist can use this to generate something that fits the horror theme they're going with, or the sci-fi theme they're going with, or whatever the aesthetic that they're going for. They can use Genie 3 as a tool to help them with concept arting the visuals. Clearly, Genie 3 is not going to replace game designers or make games. But later versions might eventually be able to make a full game or possibly export the level so that it can be imported into a game engine such as Unity or Unreal. Once that can happen, this is going to cause a flood of garbage games. It's going to allow for so many low effort games to flood the Steam store. And this is why it's so important for game developers, especially indie game developers, to have an online presence. Without building an online audience, their games will never get discovered. And this is precisely why I have this YouTube channel, so that Sabr path can be discovered by people. Overall, I don't see this as a threat towards game designers. Later iterations of this might be a tool, but at the end of the day, AI cannot come up with creative things. I don't see this as a threat at all. The only issue I see forthcoming is that this is going to allow for so many low effort and uninspired games that are going to compete with everybody else. Just like how ChatGPT is not going to replace writers and Midjourney is not going to replace artists, I see those as tools that will help speed up the process of certain things. And it's definitely going to affect the job market due to these tools changing up the workflow. But the human element of creative products will never be replaced by AI. Leave a comment below. Tell me what your thoughts are on this situation. Thanks for getting this far. Please leave a like and subscribe. Take care. Salam.